violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Woman is shot and killed in South St. Louis overnight. Here's what we know. Police were called to this home on Montana near Grand at about 12:30 this morning. They found a woman around 30 years of age, unconscious and not breathing.
So there you have it. This is the standard. Women being shot in the city of St. Louis. Mum's the word. Nobody is saying a thing. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, man. And when you think back to the Michael Brown situation in Ferguson and how people were in an uproar for that, when we all know that Michael Brown was completely in the wrong, you see no outrage, no uproar from the community that is equivalent to that in St. Louis with all the violence that has transpired since that event.
Homicide detectives are still investigating.
A woman is dead following Anthony, thank you. A woman is dead following an early morning shooting. It happened in South City just after midnight on Montana near Grand. Police were responding to shots fired when they found the 30-year-old woman killed. This is at least the 155th homicide in the city.
Woo, 155, and they're getting up there this year in St. Louis. It's absolutely a deadly. So anywhere where there is leadership from the community, meaning a sister, a brother, black woman, black man, are in charge, the city is pretty much destined to go to hell in a handbasket. Okay, this is a situation that we need to get ahead of, as Sister Tishaura Jones is the mayor of St. Louis. She needs to do more to address this issue, but obviously she won't, because she's going to say that, oh, well, these perpetrators, these super gremlins, are victims of a marginalized society, and they're the real victims in this situation. Is absolutely ridiculous.
So far this year.
This morning, a normally quiet neighborhood is shattered by gunfire. 2 women were shot at an apartment complex in South St. Louis County. This happened along
2 women. I mean, women being victimized is just racking up. And honestly, look, what I'll say is a lot of these sisters voted for this. So does it mean that they necessarily deserve it? No, it doesn't mean that they deserve it. But it means that they worked for this. They voted for this. They put blood, sweat, and tears into having the ability to pretty much vote in their own destiny.
Gulf Ridge Lane, and Alex Fees is joining us live this morning from the Afton Southwest Precinct with what he knows so far about this deadly shooting. Good morning, Alex.
Michelle, good morning. It happened yesterday at the Southmore apartment complex that's located here in South St. Louis County on Tesson Ferry Road. St. Louis County police say that 2 women were shot inside of a building at that address. Now, Afton Southwest Precinct County officers responded to the scene just after 2 o'clock yesterday. That's at the unit off of Gulf Ridge Lane. When officers responded, they found 2 adult females suffering from gunshot wounds. 1 victim was pronounced dead at the scene. The second victim was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening wounds. Police say she was treated and later released. Now, investigators say the shooting appeared to stem from, quote, an argument between familiar parties. Anyone with information about what happened there yesterday afternoon?
A simple argument ends in 2 sisters being killed. Lord have mercy.
Contact police through Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. St. Louis County Police say this is a very active investigation, and more information will be released as it becomes available. Live this morning in South St. Louis County, Alex Fees, 5 on your side.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
Again, St. Louis at the top of an unfortunate list as the country's most dangerous city.
And there you have it. St. Louis at the top of the list of the country's most dangerous cities, along with New Orleans, Atlanta, Philly, Memphis. I mean, there are a lot of quote-unquote most dangerous cities, but it looks like from all the statistical data, it's leaning towards St. Louis, who are at about 155, probably more homicides at this point, at the time of recording this video in 2022.
Tonight, Mayor Tishaura Jones fires back at the national publication for the way it collects data. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike.
So the mayor is mad at the data. The mayor is mad at the statistics. And this is why we didn't get the FBI crime statistics, the FBI crime data from 2020 to 2021, because data and numbers is racist.
Bush and Allred is off tonight. The recent study by Wallet Hub says St. Louis is the least safe community in America. And their report says it's not particularly close. 5 on your side's Holden Kerwicki spoke with city leaders today who are split on the dubious distinction.
That's exactly right, Mike. When I spoke with Mayor Jones earlier today, she actually told me that she doesn't get her news from a credit reporting bureau like Wallet Hub. But after speaking to both Mayor Jones and Director of Public Safety, Dan Isom, they made it clear the city is being very proactive to try and cut crime, but it's also obvious that they don't agree on the best way to go about it.
We know that the region as a whole is very safe.
St. Louis.
Wow, she said the region at the region. So now she's trying to encompass other cities. We're talking about St. Louis, ma'am. So focus on the city that you are mayor of. You can't just, the region as a whole. No, we're talking about the city. See, this is why, for one, I mean, sisters in leadership positions is just absolutely, I mean, they're literally incapable of not only seeing facts, not only seeing the statistics, but making a intelligent decision based off of those facts and based off of these data and based off of these statistics. They literally are incapable of making the right decision. So me personally, I don't think that they should be in leadership positions at all. Maybe if they really prove themselves, prove that they actually have I would say the safety of the individuals in the city in mind, because like it's very few sisters and brothers in general who really can take their own ideas aside and do what's best for the city, right? Like, she's going to blame all the crime on marginalized racism and all this kind of, but you're the mayor. So what racism is affecting these super gremlins who continue to do these crimes that I've already detailed in the past videos.
Mayor Tishaura Jones may have a point about the greater St. Louis region, but according to Wallet Hub, her city is the least safe city in the country.
It's certainly distressing that that sort of moniker is put on the city of St. Louis.
Obviously, there's a disconnect.
That sort of moniker is put on the city. It's not put on the city. This is what your citizens are doing. Not citizens. This is what your super gremlins are doing. Get a hold of them and you get a hold of the crime, but they don't want to do it because it's racist.
Wallet Hub doesn't live here or doesn't and isn't here.
It does. Oh my God. Oh, because Wallet Hub doesn't, the business is not based out of St. Louis, and because they're not there, they can't make a determination based off of strictly the crime data that it's one of the most dangerous cities. See, this is the cognitive dissonance that these sisters suffer from. They think, oh, well, you ain't here, honey, so you don't know what's going on. Are you here? Are you me? Are you in my skin? Are you like, oh my God. Like, their argument tactics are completely horrible. Like, they literally, it makes you, and obviously this is a very, it's a smart way to avoid the issue at hand. So I'm not going to say that she's intelligent, but the deflection tools that she used, the verbal deflection tools that she uses, it's a way for her not to really address the issue. And that's literally what it is. So just because they don't live there, they can't come to a conclusion based off of the statistical data that your city, I mean, I do videos on cities that I don't live in all the time, but does that mean that I can't say New Orleans isn't dangerous? Does that mean that I can't say Memphis isn't dangerous? Does that mean that I can't say Philadelphia isn't dangerous? Does that mean that I can't say Chicago isn't dangerous just because I don't live there? I mean, I already know Atlanta's dangerous. I'm here. We in this bitch. All right? So don't try and say, oh, well, they're not here. Their company is not based here, so they have no idea what's going on. Ma'am, we read the news. We see the data just like anybody else. You're wrong.
If they take random statistics from random newspapers,
Random statistics.
However, Wallet Hub's data isn't from random newspaper articles. The company pulls information from the FBI, Bureau of Labor, and U.S. Census. They looked at more than just crime.
The FBI, Bureau of Labor, and U.S. Census. So since the FBI headquarters is in Virginia and Quantico, and it's not in St. Louis, they have no right to come to the conclusion that St. Louis, statistically, data-wise, is one of the most dangerous cities in the United States because the CDC, I don't know where the CDC headquarters is, but because the CDC is actually, it might be in Atlanta, I'm not sure, but because the CDC is not in St. Louis, they can't come up with the data literally. Because the U.S. Census Bureau, which their job is to count the heads of the people in the United States, because they're not based in St. Louis, they can't come up with accurate data yet. F out of here.
Considering things like unemployment and natural disaster risk.
Those studies are a little bit inaccurate in the sense that often comparing apples to oranges, but that's not to dismiss the fact that we do have some crime problems in the city of St. Louis.
For sure.
Since Mayor Jones took office in 2020, she has championed a holistic approach to fighting crime.
We have officers working in the areas where data shows us that crime is occurring.
Whoa. Slow down, my brother. Isn't that racist to have officers work specifically in the areas where crime is occurring? Because we know that most of these crimes are occurring in the black community. Is that racist to station officers in black communities where crime is most occurring, where they're seeing the shot spotter technology ring off in these communities or in these communitas? Isn't that racist?
Though the study gives the city high marks for police officers per capita, Dr. Isom says he believes they're using old data for a department that has lost 819 officers in the last 5 years.
And why do you think they lost? And I guarantee the majority of those officers that they lost happened within the last 2 years. And why do you think they lost? Because St. Louis were one of the main cities that were leading the defund the police chants.
The city as a whole cannot get employees. And so we know pay is a big issue with it.
Despite these struggles, Mayor Jones says new initiatives, such as the Behavioral Health Bureau, will help curb crime.
Having a behavioral health bureau stood up by the Department of Health is a key step forward towards addressing crime in our city.
We don't always want to be wrapped up into numbers. We know there are lives that are at stake, but it tells us that we're making progress.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.